In the White House, CNN Tonight, live next. You asked Dish for more ways to refer a friend and for more ways to get rewarded. We listened. Refer a friend to Dish and take your pick of amazing rewards, like a free Echo Dot. Control your TV hands-free with the Dish Hopper and Amazon Alexa. Alexa, play Fixer Upper. Want more? You can also choose 12 free pay-per-view movies or $50 in bill credits with every successful referral. And here's the best part. When someone you refer signs up for Dish, they'll get their pick of rewards too. Referring is easy. Call 844-326-9585 or visit mydish.com/refer to request your custom referral code. You can also download the MyDish app to invite your friends via email, text, or social media. The more friends you refer, the more rewards you get. So what are you waiting for? Call 844-326-9585 or visit mydish.com/refer to start referring today. Dish, tuned into you.
The radical story of Patty Hearst premieres Sunday at 9 on CNN.
There's more breaking news tonight. As you just heard, people on Capitol Hill now say there will indeed be a government shutdown, perhaps just a short one, but a shutdown all the same. The reason, objections from Republican Senator Rand Paul. Sanders is another key player in the Senate budget drama, and a lot of us. I spoke with him earlier this evening, just before Senator Rand Paul took the floor. Senator Sanders, how are you planning to vote on this budget bill?
Anderson, the irony is I've spent a lot of time on this bill, worked very hard, and there is a lot of very, very important stuff in this bill for the American people. We have doubled the amount of money for childcare. We are making progress in funding the Social Security Administration. We're dealing with serious problem of student debt. We're dealing with rural infrastructure crises. But at the end of the day, I am going to be voting against this legislation for two reasons. The first is that when we are now spending more money on the military than the next 12 nations combined, and when study after study shows that there has been enormous amount of waste in the Pentagon, they have not been able to do an audit, the only agency of government not to do an audit. I think it is wrong to increase military spending by $165 billion over 2 years. And the second issue that concerns me very much, as it does the American people, is that in several weeks, some 800,000 young people who have lived virtually their entire lives in this country, who are going to school, who are working, or in the military, they are going to lose their legal status and be subjected to the possibility of deportation. And this would be a moral outrage. So for those two reasons, reluctantly, I'm going to be voting against a bill which provides a whole lot of support for working families in this country.
Is it fair to say you would not vote for anything that does not include a permanent solution for DACA recipients?
I think, again, as someone who worked really hard trying to make this bill something that will positively impact the lives of millions of working families, I think we have a moral crisis in this country right now that has to be dealt with. 80% of the American people in poll after poll say that we cannot turn our backs on these young people and leave them subject to deportation. So this is something I feel very strongly about, and I will do my best in the coming weeks to make sure that, in fact, we do protect them.
Would you be willing to, the administration has asked for some $25 billion for essentially for a border wall and some more border security. Is that something you would agree to in order to get a deal on DACA?
Between you and me, I think the idea of spending billions of dollars on a wall is totally crazy. But I think my major goal right now is to protect these dreamers. There will be negotiations. And what I'm very happy to say, and I want the American people to know this, is that in the House right now, it is my strong understanding there are a majority of members in a bipartisan way, mostly Democrats, but some Republicans, who are prepared to support strong dreamers legislation. I know that there's a strong majority in the Senate. The question is, can we get 60 votes? So right now we are working hard to pass strong dreamers legislation. There will be negotiations. I am sure that if we can pass something, there will be aspects of that legislation that I will not be happy about. But my main concern now is to not turn our backs on these dreamers.
How much leverage or what leverage do Democrats actually have when it comes to DACA? Because, I mean, there's only been the promise from Majority Leader McConnell that an immigration debate would be taken up in the Senate. And on the House side, I mean, you talked about some Republicans on the House side, but, you know, there's no promise from Speaker Ryan at this point.
You're right. There is no promise. And I think what Speaker Ryan has got to do is allow democracy to prevail in the House. And if a majority of the people in that body want to pass Dreamers legislation, they should be allowed to have the vote. And it is really wrong of Ryan to prevent that vote. Now, here in the Senate, we do have a majority. And I think McConnell is going to play it straight and allow different amendments to come up. And we are working very, very hard right now.
I want to ask you about the House Intelligence Committee Democratic memo. Do you believe the White House is going to release it?
All I can tell you is what I read in the papers, and I'm told that they will. But I think a lot of what Republicans recently have been trying to do is kind of muddy the waters, divert attention away from the Mueller investigation. You know, I find it ironic that Mueller was appointed head of the FBI by George W. Bush, reappointed by Obama, has always had in this investigation strong bipartisan support. Let the man do his job. That's about all that I can say on that.
Senator Bernie Sanders, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. Up next, it's back to reality TV for Omarosa Manigault Newman, the former White House aide who got her start on The Apprentice. She's now on Celebrity Big Brother. Yes, she's a celebrity, I guess. Dishing White House dirt with TV personality Ross Matthews. Yes, this is happening.
There he is, your new brother-in-law. You like him. He's one of those guys who always smells good. His 5 o'clock shadow is always at 5 o'clock. You like him. Your mom says he's done really well for himself. He has stocks and bonds. Your dad wants to go fishing with him. Your dad doesn't even like fishing. You like your brother-in-law, but you'd like him better if he made more money than he does. Don't get mad at your brother-in-law. Get E-Trade.
One day I'm chewing a piece of hard candy and my 2 front teeth snapped off. My teeth were so messed up. I work in a casino. When I would laugh or engage with the players, I did it like this a lot. It's because I was embarrassed of my teeth. I don't think dentures were ever a solution. The only option for me was Clear Choice.
David was due for a complete reconstruction. Because we have the surgeon and the prosthodontist and the lab in one facility working together as a team, we can perform this procedure in one day.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing teeth.
The whole procedure was done in the same day and a beautiful smile.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
If I don't get at least 5 or 6 compliments a day at work, it wouldn't be normal. You go, wow, those teeth, they're gorgeous. It's all because of Clear Choice.
Call Clear Choice today.
Exercise doesn't have to be boring. Hi, I'm Lori Grenier from Shark Tank. In less than a year, the Simply Fit board has become one of America's favorite ways to exercise, with over 3 million people getting Simply Fit. Why? Because it's fun and because it works. People everywhere are twisting away calories while they watch TV and listen to music. The Simply Fit board gets 4- and 5-star reviews everywhere. So jump on board and get fit, one twist at a time. Get your Simply Fit board today.
Van Jones. He's been described as having clear-eyed vision and being a voice of progressive reason with lucid, instant analysis of today's issues. He was considered a star of the 2016 campaign and has published 3 New York Times bestsellers. When this man speaks, he goes viral. So why wouldn't we give him his own show? Next, the new show, Esquire says is one of the most anticipated TV shows of 2018, The Van Jones Show. Saturday night at 7 Eastern on CNN.
After 20 years as a castaway, you think I'd be sick of fish, but I still love Gordon's. Wild caught whole filet that I don't have to catch with my bare hands. Even Coco loves them. My wife is very picky. Trust the Gordon's, fisherman.
How you feeling?
I have chronic low back pain. I've tried ice, I've tried heat.
Are you ready for a game changer?
I'm ready.
Smart Relief from Icy Hot.
It tingles.
Feel it?
Yes. I can't feel the pain right now.
Icy Hot Smart Relief. Oh.
For a cold sore, I don't use some waxy cover-up. I use Herpecin L. It penetrates deep to treat. It soothes, moisturizes, and creates an SPF 30 barrier to protect against flare-ups caused by the sun. Perpisanel. It does more for a cold sore.
Attention parents of children with cerebral palsy. If you suspect a medical mistake may have occurred at or near the time of birth, call Science and Kirk for a free legal consultation.
Call 1-800-476-1447. That's 1-800-476-1447.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Oh, yeah. She started in reality television with Donald Trump, and she's back in reality television. Former White House aide Omarosa Manigault-Newman is now on Celebrity Big Brother, living in a house with Rudy from The Cosby Show, the guy from that band Sugar Ray, some UFC fighter, and some other celebrities, or sub-celebrities. In a quiet moment with another contestant, TV personality Ross Matthews, who's, I know him, he's very nice. Omarosa said going to the White House was a call to duty, and she was serving her country, not Donald Trump, and said it was all basically pretty bad. And yes, this is real life, or at least reality television. We now show you a clip where they're all whispering on Celebrity Big Brother.
Like I was haunted by tweets every single day. Like, what is he going to tweet next?
Does anybody say to him, what are you doing?
I tried to be my person, and then all of the people around him attacked me. It was like, keep her away. Don't give her access. Don't let her talk to him. And it's like, as long as they're here, it's there.
If I whisper into the microphone, nobody can hear me. Kirsten, what do you think about this? Crazy.
I think we should do one show like that where everybody gets to be on the cast. It's a Saturday Night Live skit. They don't need to change the thing.
And who could have predicted this would happen?
I know. It's so shocking.
Yeah.
I know. It's like.
I'm mad though. I'm mad because it's Black History Month and we're talking about Black excellence day in and day out, and we're sitting here talking about Omarosa, and I don't know what Omarosa is good at or qualified to do. I think that
What's the game though to to work in the White House and then I guess betray everybody you worked in the White House with to go on the show and like speak ill of the person who gave you the job.
It doesn't count as betrayal if you're whispering.
this is a hot mess.
She's risking her brand as an intellectual giant.
Yeah.
That's what we're.
I was going to say something to Omarosa's credit, but I don't have anything. But what I will say is that this is indicative of this White House, because you saw the deputy press secretary go up there today and equate working in the White House to The Apprentice and said, we fired her 3 times and now we've had to fire her again. And I guess the people who were this close to the president, where they end up is now Celebrity Big Brother, whispering in the darkness, talking about international secrets.
Only the best people. We only hire the best.
But it's also interesting. I mean, the way she is portraying herself, she went on to say to Ross that she tried to stop the president from his tweet, and then the people around got against her.
Yeah, she tried to be that adult.
Right. It's like she is suddenly now the central figure in the White House.
So if you believe any of the reporting, and by actually all of the reporting, she was one of the worst culprits of individuals who would walk right in, had walk-in privileges, walk into the president, hand him an outrageous story from Breitbart, and actually fuel the tweeting that she's supposedly living and hiding from. And then the other piece is, she's actually sort of right. They ultimately did kind of gang up on her. John Kelly came in and fired her. I mean, she was isolated because she was a disruptive and really sort of polarizing figure who really didn't do much other than serve herself and wind up the president.
I don't mean to distract from the solemnity of the occasion, talking about the Big Brother, but it is true that Omarosa was the only high-ranking African American in the entire Trump White House.
Oh, I got a question. What was her job?
It's public.
See, she was so high-ranking.
Well, but
she wasn't assistant to the president.
But I mean,
she actually had the highest.
But it does matter that there no African Americans who work at high levels in the White House. I mean, the United States is not a country.
Ben Carson.
No, I'm in the White House.
In the White House.
The cabinet member. Jerron Smith, who's in the Economic Council. He's in the Economic Council.
Jerron is brilliant. By the way, Jerron is one of the more brilliant minds in the White House, and I hope they promote him and they give him more jobs.
And the thing is, he's low key.
But he actually is raising a legitimate point here. That one, we don't know if Omarosa was qualified to do her job. We highly doubt that because we don't know what the qualifications for her job were. That's important.
We don't know if there was a job.
We don't know the metrics by which she was measured. Because we don't know what she did every day. We don't know if she showed up. We don't know what her job title can encompass.
She did allow the Daily Beast to follow her around for a brief time, which was fascinating because she basically just wandered into offices and then at a certain point maybe realized it wasn't wise to have a reporter follow her around and canceled the rest.
She
probably was in charge of Michael Wolff.
She kept other qualified African Americans from working in the White House. We do know that to be a fact. There are a lot of people who were applying for jobs and who, because she was the sole Black person in there, they were like, here's the applications, you look at them. And she kept a lot of qualified, good people from working in that White House. That is a fact.
I got 90 seconds more. So
we don't have anything
Well, I mean, just to talk about what she was saying, though, I mean, she's acting like she's there to save, America from Donald Trump, and she was begging to stay. I mean, she
it's
wasn't.
clearly she's hoping for a book deal. I mean, because that was her first interview coming off of the job, intimating, racism or something going on, and she, I mean, that's the next step. Next step is a book deal. Right?
No publisher. Do not give her a deal. This is a woman who stayed with them through Charlottesville. She says Charlottesville. I mean, if she's the only African American woman there and she stays through Charlottesville, totally supportive of not saying anything, where is her moral courage now? Don't buy it. Don't buy the book, guys. Don't buy it.
But did you get a gig for a reality show?
I've been on a reality TV show.
You might just
it's not all bad. Hey, I was on Love That Sister.
That's right.
I hosted them all. Quista, who is a member of Congress who was on a reality show? And why? You got it. All right. You answered it too quickly. You're just falling apart. More news ahead. We'll be right back.
There's a vacation at the end of every week with Hilton. Whatever type of weekender you are, don't let another weekend pass you by. Get the lowest price when you book at Hilton.com.
No matter the weather, stay protected all season long with floor liners from WeatherTech. Laser measured to protect the front, back, even up the sides. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com. WeatherTech, the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Proudly made in America.
This is Bill. Bill's in sales by day, but Ring lets him fight crime at night.
Tell us, Bill, how'd you do it?
Well, I was at home one evening watching my favorite program, and I got a Ring notification, and I see this guy in my backyard, but I don't really know what to do, so I just go, he ran like the Dickens.
I may know karate, but Bill knows crazy.
I do know a little karate. The Ring Spotlight can. It's your home and your neighborhood safe.
We had gone out to dinner and he proceeded to tell me about the 23andMe test he took and how he could not smell asparagus after he urinated. Valentine's Day was 6 months after our first date. So let's get a kit from 23andMe.
It was certainly not a traditional Valentine's gift.
I am totally dating a nerd.
Get 20% off this Valentine's Day at 23andme.com.
With Advil's fast relief, you'll ask, what pulled muscle? What headache? Nothing looks faster to make pain a distant memory. Advil Liquid Gels and Advil Liquid Gels Minis. What pain?
At Casper, we had an idea. If our bodies are curved, why are mattresses flat? So we designed a new kind of mattress that mirrors the natural shape of our bodies. We call it the Wave. Flat on the outside, but curved on the inside. It's just a more human way to sleep.
You eat well and take the highest dose statin you can to lower your LDL bad cholesterol, but still aren't getting where you need to be. It can be a real struggle. Now there's a different way to reduce LDL and get on the path to dramatically lower numbers with Repatha. Repatha works differently from your statin to help clear LDL. When taken every 2 weeks, Repatha plus the highest dose statin drove down LDL on average 71% more than a statin alone and 63% when taken once a month.
Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha may cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include redness, severe rash or itching, swollen face, or trouble breathing. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
Added to a highest dose statin, Repatha lowered LDL below 70 for up to 90% of people. Ask if Repatha can get you on the path to way lower LDL.
Repatha is now FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. Visit repatha.com.
Why is Copper Chef the #1 cookware in America? It's the only cookware with Ceramatec. It's super non-stick. Eggs slip and slide. No oil or butter. Melted cheese? Not a problem. Plastic cup peels right off. Pancake batter rolls out. Burnt milk? Gone. The stainless steel induction plate means rapid heating corner to corner and is 100% chemical PTFE and PFOA free. You know it's high quality when you see Copper Chef's copper on the inside and copper on the outside. Go to copperchef.com or these retailers to get yours.
A quick programming note involving our friend Jeffrey Toobin, who's the author of American Heiress, The Wild Saga of the Kidnapping, Crimes, and Trial of Patty Hearst, which, Jeff, I read. It's an excellent book.
Thanks.
Very good. Jeff is an executive producer of a new CNN original series about the case. It debuts this weekend. I'm very excited.
It's really, and you know what? In my unbiased opinion, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's full of like archival.
There's so much amazing video. From
It's
this.
incredible, and interviews with people who have never talked about the case on camera, including the person who actually kidnapped Patty Hearst and pulled her out of the house in Berkeley, and it's still a mystery to a lot of people about what side she was really on.
Fascinating. Be sure to tune in for The Radical Story of Patty Hearst, Sunday, 9 p.m. here on CNN. That's it for us. Thanks for watching. Time to hand it over to Don Lemon. CNN Tonight starts right now.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And this is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon. Thanks for joining us. In breaking news, the federal government on the verge of shutting down again at midnight. Not so long from now. That's right. Our government has managed to stay open for a whole 17 days. Congress so far unable to pass a spending bill to keep it open. We're going to explain exactly what's happening tonight on Capitol Hill. And then our other big story, and it is a doozy, the chaotic Trump White House not doing a very good job of trying to explain its handling of the debacle of Rob Porter. Rob Porter is the former top aide to President Trump, who resigned amid allegations that he abused two ex-wives, the White House spokesman, Raj Shah, and what's clearly the understatement of the week.
I think it's fair to say that we all could have done better over the last few hours or last few days.
Wait, what was that? Was that the rarest things with the White House, an admission of a mistake? Here's what our latest reporting tonight is that President Trump, didn't like that much that Raj Shah said what he said, that he admitted that they made mistakes. Of course, it is true, but the mistake wasn't just how it was handled since the allegations became public. It's about how they were handled from the very beginning. And it is John Kelly who needs to face questions about that. What role did Chief of Staff John Kelly play, especially in covering up for Rob Porter? What did he know, and when did he know it? Multiple sources tell CNN that senior aides to the president, including Kelly, knew for months that Porter's ex-wives claimed he abused them, that Porter was having trouble getting a security clearance because of the allegations. One of the ex-wives is Colby Holderness. She tells CNN that she informed the FBI back in January of last year, of 2017, a full 13 months ago, that Porter punched her and that she shared photos with the FBI during an interview about Porter's clearance. Are we to believe that the Chief of Staff was not aware of this? Spokesman Raj Shah saying today that the public release of the photos yesterday was a game changer for Kelly. Really? First of all, why would it take a photo to be a game changer? Kelly's first statement, drafted with the help of Communications Director Hope Hicks, who has been romantically involved, by the way, with Porter, was full of praise. Here's a quote. Rob Porter is a man of true integrity and honor, and I can't say enough good things about him. He is a friend, a confidant, and a trusted professional. I am proud to serve alongside him. This person who's in a romantic relationship with him helped to draft that. It is only after the Porter story blew up in the administration's face that Kelly released a statement. I was shocked by the new allegations released today against Rob Porter. There is no place for domestic violence in our society, but also saying this, I stand by my previous comments of the Rob Porter that I have come to know since becoming Chief of Staff and believe every individual deserves the right to defend their reputation. That is hardly a statement of condemnation. Chief of Staff Kelly, please take note. Two ex-wives are alleging